This video is designed to show you how to enter an answer into one of the answer boxes that you will find in the labs that you do in Microsoft OneNote. Here we see a typical answer box. In this case, it's an activity. Answer boxes come in three varieties: question, calculation, or activity. In this case here, this is a preview of Lab 1, and there's an activity where I have to do some work. And I want to show you how you can enter in your answer into this box. And along the way, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for doing so. Right now, I'm viewing this particular lab in Microsoft Teams on my computer. And while I can go in here and I can certainly type an answer right here, often working in Teams is not as convenient as working in Microsoft OneNote itself. In fact, we recommend that you do the majority of your work, if not all of your work, in Microsoft OneNote application, not within Teams. So I want to break out of this OneNote view that I see within Teams here, and I have two options. I go up here where it says Open in Browser, and there's also another option for Open in App or Application. That's the option that we prefer you to use, Open in App. What that will do is that will launch the Microsoft OneNote app on your device. So if you have a PC, it'll open up OneNote. If you have a Mac, it'll do the same. If you are doing this on an iPad, it will open up the OneNote application on your iPad. Any of those three work really well on a PC, a Mac, or an iPad. Those are the ideal. Now, you certainly can work here in Microsoft Teams, but sometimes that we've had some syncing issues, and so you want to be very careful and make sure that your work is always appearing to sync. You can likewise open this up in your web browser. This will launch your web browser and take you to a web page where you can do the work as well. But in both Teams and the web browser, your options are a little more limited, and it is not as easy and smooth to work with it. So always better, if you are able to, launch the app, open this page in your app. It'll take you right to that page in Microsoft OneNote. So if I were to do that, it would have brought me to this page in OneNote. And this is the navigation panels here. And a lot of times I want to hide these navigation panels so I have more room to work. And so in this version here on my Mac, it's slightly different on perhaps a PC or on your tablet like an iPad. But if I click on these little books here, it hides the navigation panels, and now I have more of a screen that's focused on just what I'm working on. And then I can use the 2-finger pinch and zoom option to make this a little bit bigger. So now I've kind of narrowed myself right down to this particular activity box where I want to write my answer. And you have a couple of options for writing an answer. The first is you may type an answer. And so if you happen to be in draw mode, make sure you go into text mode, and you can click somewhere here and you're ready to start typing. Okay? If you want to format that typing, go to the home screen. You can change the font and the size. You can make it bold, italic. You can do subscripts and superscripts. Really helpful for chemical formulas. Make sure you use subscripts and superscripts where appropriate. You can highlight things, you can make lists, a lot of different options there. Okay, you can even insert a table and make a table of data. So you have a lot of options. Now, as you're working, you may also decide, hey, I want to handwrite in some answers. And that's perfectly fine as well. If you have some sort of stylus, here's an Apple Pencil, and on my iPad, I can make this work. I'm going to open this up. You won't really be able to see it here because I don't have the screen connected, but I'm going to go ahead and write this answer here that I want to, and so I'm going to write hello here, and you can see it's syncing right through the cloud and appearing on my computer screen, which is what you're actually seeing in this video. That works very smoothly. So you may certainly write your answer if that feels very comfortable and you enjoy writing and you have a stylus, a Microsoft Surface, or an iPad with an Apple Pencil. You may write your answers instead of typing them. All right. A lot of times, though, you're going to need more space to work. And even if you've zoomed in like we have here and stuff, I just need more space. You can see there isn't much space in this answer box. So how do you go about getting more space? This is really important. Do not try to get more space by simply hitting return. If you keep hitting return, you're going to go outside of the box and it's going to mess up the lab and the formatting of the lab. So instead, you need to create more space. And the way to do that is to go to the Draw menu and select Insert Space. This works whether you're on a PC, a Mac, or an iPad. It even works in the web browser version, but again, we recommend that you use the native application. So again, to repeat, it's the Draw menu, Insert Space, and when I do this, and I click and select Insert Space, it gives me an option to insert some space here. So I'm going to do that between the bottom of the box and this next paragraph. I'm going to insert some space by just dragging out some space. So that provided some additional space there. Now, if I ever had too much space, I can make it smaller. A good way to do this is to zoom out on the lab so you can see the lab a little bit more and decide where you want to put that space. And you can get a better idea of how much space you're inserting. Oh, I don't need quite that much. Let me take away some of this space. And now I can see, yes, now I can have some additional space, but I need to make the box bigger. So I'm going to go back to text mode and I'm going to click on the box. And when I highlight the box, I want to pull down the box and make it larger. And now I have more space where I can continue to put in my answer. So I can continue here with my answer. That's supposed to be R. How are you? And you can keep typing whatever answer is appropriate for your question. Note that the graphic here, that if you have written in answers, they appear as graphics and not as text. And so be careful and make sure that the answer appears the way you want it to appear before you finish this particular answer box. One other little tip, please do not write in the actual answer box, okay? And if you notice here, the way these labs are set up, I could delete the whole question. I can always just do an undo and get that question to come back. I can delete the answer box. I'll do an undo and have that come back. Obviously, you want the question there. You want the answer box because that is where your TA will decide how many points you've earned. And so this was 4 points, and they say, hey, this is a good job. They would give you 3 or 4 points out of the 4 possible points you could earn. So please leave this here for your TAs to use when grading your lab.